Hey everyone, what is going on? Welcome to another live rendition of This Is Tom's World. Hope you're all doing well. Um, I didn't have any opening things to say here. so um, if you're here and you're watching, just give a wave or a hi or whatever. Just let me know you're here. I see there's a couple people here now. Um, it's been uh, it's been an interesting week. We'll say that. It always has, though, in my life, hasn't it? There's always something going on. We had things going on with the family all summer long. I'd mentioned that in previous lives. Not all good, but they all had good turnouts. So that's the blessing to take away from that. And work has been different this year. You know, we we have new management on the maintenance team there at Neshaminy, and I want to give a shout out. I don't know if you're watching, but Ron, it was nice meeting you the other day. I always enjoy meeting people. Like if you happen to be walking around the Chamonix State Park, you see me cruising by or changing trash bags or whatever I might be doing. Feel free. I mean, unless I'm doing something busy, like dangerous, like with trees and stuff like that. Hey, how's it going? Um, but unless you see me doing dangerous stuff with trees, then you can come up to me. If I'm doing something like tame, then you can, hey, how you doing, Tom? Whatever. But like if I'm doing something that I can't have people around me, then please do not approach. But otherwise, feel free to do so. I always encourage people, and if you just see me out and about, like maybe making a video or just walking around, or I've had people see me in different like supermarkets, Giant, Acme, things like that. Feel free, just approach. Let me know that you watch the videos, and I always appreciate that. But once again, yes, I hope you're all doing well today. Um, it's been how long has it been since I did my last live? Let me see. Let's check this out. So the last live feed. Wow, it's been a little while. September 17th. So yeah, it's I generally want to try to get at least like one live in every other week. But I let a few weeks go by here, and I just figured I'd reconnect with everybody, see how life is going for everybody, see if anybody has any more suggestions of places for me to visit and check out, maybe do videos of, maybe do research into, whatever the case may be. I always try my best to give as much information as I can, whatever I can find. Sometimes sometimes online you don't find much, or it all depends on like the terminology you use when you do the search, to know whether or not you're going to get the results that you would like to get. Sometimes there's been points where I have searched for something over and over and over again, and I just cannot find it, and then somebody will send me a link, and if I'd have just changed a couple of words, I'd have come across it myself. So I mean, it's tough, and I really do appreciate the help that everybody gives me in doing research, whether it's before a video when I'm just talking about it, or even after a video, because I might do a revisit of the place, and it's nice to have that information. And I always keep all the messages everybody sends me on my This is Tom's World on Facebook, and I do a search in there every time I'm going somewhere where I know it's been talked about. Um, let's see, we have Chris Cullen. Oof. Sorry to hear that, brother. Hope it goes away quick. How's it going? How you doing? The bridge in the woods over by Thornton and Woodhaven. There's not really much to find out. There was like a lot of farmland there at one point, as you know, and it was just a means of getting across the creek, basically. I don't know if that was all on one person's property, or if it was means to get from one property to another, or just to get from a dirt road to another. But there wasn't really much to find out about it. There was no real buildings. I don't know what that structure was I saw in the creek. That cement thing that was like square or whatever it was in the creek. I have no idea what that is. I can't find anything about that online. Yeah. 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 Oh, yeah. Off of Byberry Road over by where the where the train tracks are now, and the Mast School, MAST. I actually heard that the bridge right there on Byberry Road is going to be closed down for quite some time. I mean, it needs renovations. I mean, if any of you have ever gone across the bridge on Byberry Road, that goes from, like, let's say the boulevard up to Bustleton, that bridge you go over, that's a really scary bridge, and it has been for a long time. I even walked across that and I was scared. So it really does need some renovations. So I think that's going to be shut down for some time. There was a year on the bridge. I think it was it 1930? Was it 1936? 19. Let me see. It's on the thumbnail for the video. Let's see. Oh, I started playing the video. Silly me. Let me try that again. I can't bring it up. I know it was 1930 something. 1929? It might be 29. You got me curious now. I have to plug in my external hard drive, because see, that's part of the process. Because these high definition videos that I do, they take up a lot of space. So I have two external hard drives. Each one is a terabyte. I already filled one up. The other one I'm just now starting, and then I can look at the actual image that I made. But I think you might be right. 1929 sounds right. Let's see here. Really? Is it still on my computer? I think it might be. So I didn't need to plug in the external hard drive. I keep them on my computer for a little while, and then I transfer them over to the hard drive. Let's see here. Yeah. Bring up the image. Wait for it to load. 1939. So we were kind of both right. You had the 9 right. I had the 3 right. But still, that's pretty old. You know, I mean, that's older than my dad. My dad just had a birthday this past Sunday, turned 75. Yeah. I actually, when I was there, and the image that I got for that thumbnail, I just grabbed it. It was a screen capture from the video. I didn't realize when I was there that there was a date stone there as I was filming or videoing. It's not film, so I can't say filming. But when I watched the video, I saw it and I was like, oh my God, there's a date stone. How about that? So I definitely knew I wanted to grab that as a screen capture, but it is a little tough to see. But it was a fun adventure, as all of them are. I mean, even the last video, I went back to the abandoned prison farm. I'd been there a couple times before. Well, actually, more than a couple times. I was there twice on my own, and I was there once with my friends Kenny and Donna Biddle for a video they were making. And but still, it's been since 2021 since I was there, February of 2021. Um, so it was interesting to see. Now, backstory of why I ended up there. My coworker had told me of these ruins that he and his friends found, and he said that they thought that, hey, Michael, um, he, they were like at the end of Townsend Road, like right where Townsend Road ends, and it's by the Amazon place, and it's like a little cul-de-sac there, and he was showing me on the map where to go, and I was like, cool. Well, I said, I know the prison farm isn't far from there, so I should know the area kind of well. And I went looking for this thing, and the way he explained it, like I envisioned something totally different. He said that he and his friends were back there with a truck, and they were actually able to drive up on top of this structure. Which, in my mind, when I pictured this, I'm thinking like ruins, like the foundation of the building, and there's like a basement underneath, because he said there was something underneath, and then like a little homeless guy. Well, not a little homeless guy. That would be freaky. But that a homeless guy had come out to see what was going on because he heard people, something going on up top. And it turned out actually where my coworker was the abandoned prison farm. So at the front of it, where the barn is, it's a bank barn. So there's going off to the right side as you come up. There's a ramp that would have went up to the second floor, and that's where they pulled up in their truck. And right underneath it, there's like a little area there that might have been like a potato cellar or something like that, storage, whatever. And that's where the homeless guy was. So when I showed him like stills from the video, he's like, yeah, that's what we drove up on. So he thought it was like a business or something like that. But as it turns out, we all know it was the abandoned prison farm, Byberry Farms. And I believe it was owned by one of the Townsends, actually, before the state had purchased it. So I found out that little tidbit just looking around after I made the video. But it's always fun to go there. It's interesting to see how the graffiti changes there. Every once in a while, somebody will white out the walls, and then they'll just make new graffiti, or they'll just do it right over top of the other existing graffiti or whatever. But some of the people that do it there are very, very talented, very good artists and stuff. So it's always interesting to see. Not as as intricate as what you'll see down at Graffiti Pier, down in I forget where that is. It's like towards more into the city, we'll say. And I have not yet been there myself, but I do know that a lot of like the Instagram models and stuff like that in the area, they like to go there and have pictures taken and whatever. But it's a place that I intend on visiting eventually. I'm going to get around to the different parts of Philly, the different parts of Bucks County, and my main goal, what I would like to do, is to be able to have the funds to be able to travel and go further out places. Now, I have some places that I'd like to go to that are a little far away. Like we'll say the Poconos, kind of far away. There's a couple places I want to check out there. Definitely want to do a video in Jim Thorpe, because that town is, wow, man. That, especially if you go there like around Christmas time, that town is just remarkable. It's like you're stepping like out of a, what's that one artist's name? I always forget. Norman Rockwell. Like you're stepping out of a Norman Rockwell painting, or into a Norman Rockwell painting, actually. Well, I know the Pequesing Creek is right there. Actually, it's not far at all. Like if you were to go along the Amazon building, there's like, from the Amazon building towards the woods, there's like a hill that comes down, and then like a little valley in the hill. If you follow that out straight, you'll come, and if you watch my last video, you'll see I did that. You come to a paved path, and that paved path is Pequesing Creek Trail. On the other side of that path, not far into the woods, is the Pequesing Creek. So it's possible that there might have been a little a little lake, I guess you could say, that pooled from that, especially if if the prison farm was pulling in water from the creek, which I suspect they were, because um, if you watch not only this last video I did, but the other videos that I did with the prison farm, you'll see that there in certain parts there are like uh, cement, like little gullies, I guess you could say, that go right through the middle of the buildings, especially in the greenhouses and stuff like that. And there's a pump house, so I assume that they did that. So it could have caused a little lake at some point. Right. That's what I was saying. It could have been like a little spill off. I don't think Deer Park got their water from there. That's dead on. I do believe they come from Maine, just like Poland Springs. You never see commercials for Poland Springs anymore. Used to be Poland Springs, what it means to be from Maine, or something like that. Hey, you know, there's tons of stories that circulated in the area that most of them weren't true. So don't feel bad. Speaking of, I was saying the Poland Spring commercials, you don't see them anymore. I saw something online in the last few days that really made me think, and it said something like, "So back in the '80s, did we totally eliminate ring around the collar? Because I never hear about it on commercials anymore." And it made me think, it's like, yeah, you know what? You don't hear about that anymore. What happened? Did it just go away? Was it ever a thing? That's possible too. Could have been for irrigation. I mean, I'm sure there was some wetland type, crops there and stuff like that. I mean, there was literally farms everywhere. Yeah, no, they don't really. I'm one of those people. I mean, I dress up when it's needed, going to a wedding or something like that. But yeah, but yeah, there literally was farmlands, like this whole area of the far northeast was like nothing but farms. So I'm sure that there were some like wetland type crops and stuff like that they forced to be wetlands. Anything's possible. Well, technically, I am wearing my Sunday clothes because usually I work on Sundays. So, t-shirt. It's a different hat. I can't show the hat on here, but it's my DCNR hat that I wear for work. Um, One of the stipulations of my special situation being a YouTuber and working for the state and stuff like that. They had certain rules, and that's one of them. Um, but yeah, pretty much. But I have a new schedule coming up starting this weekend, so I will no longer be working on Sundays or Mondays. I will have those days off. So, but I'll be working the other days of the week. So you'll still be able to find me there, and hopefully you'll be able to find me there year round now. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. We'll find out. No, they don't. Now, back when I worked at Burpee, I used to have a collar, but it wasn't like a dress shirt collar. Like I would wear polo shirts, but still, it would be a collar. And the more I think about it, I never had ring around the collar, so I don't even know what causes ring around the collar. much less how to get rid of it and how we eliminated it as a people. I oftentimes see a lot of funny little memes and stuff like that online. Rarely do I remember them to tell the story once I've seen them and laughed at them, because usually, like, I'm here by myself in this room, and then the next day I forget. Yes. You are absolutely right. There was garages that went underground, and it seems that at one time there was no top on them when you look at some of the pictures. But it did eventually get covered, and you of course would know. But yeah, it was like where the underground garages would have been is where Union Roofing is now, basically. But they're long gone, because I did look for them when I was in there. No, this is a bridge that's in the woods, right at Thornton and Woodhaven, and the bridge is pretty much like right behind where Union Roofing is. So, like, say you came from Academy on Woodhaven to Thornton, and you make a right, and then you make your first left right there. What is that? Is that Townsend Road right there? I think it is. Um, and it goes up and it curves to the right. Right as it's curving to the right, Union Roofing is right there. The woods behind that is where that bridge is. Oh, the little concrete thing I saw in the creek. I mean, I guess that would make sense. No ring around the cut. Well, look, I sweat a lot. I mean, all this summer I was out there in that heat, working my butt off over at Neshaminy and Benjamin Rush State Park. But I don't have a collar to get ring on. Well, the thing is also that from the creek, the the hill, like if you were standing in the creek and Union Roofing was off to your right, the hill that goes up is a lot steeper than it used to be back in the 50s or whatever, back like way back then. So it would never we would have to make that concrete structure like really really tall in order to get over that hill now. But that's from all the years of like construction and building and moving dirt around to level out things for buildings and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it it very well could have been, because like I was just saying, like the hill is a lot steeper now than it used to be. So it doesn't look like it's broken off though. It really is only about, what was it, about like a foot and a half, maybe 2 feet tall. Maybe there was another structure on top of it, but it doesn't look like the concrete is broken, unless maybe from the overflow of the water over time, maybe it smoothed it out a little bit. It just, and I didn't see any holes in it where like something else would be like pulled in there. So it's kind of hard to say. I'd have to go back and like get closer to it and inspect it to really know. Maybe that's another video. I mean, at least I know how to get to it now. Yeah. So now what do we talk about? I mean, has anybody come across anything? Like, I mean, I know a lot of us belong to groups on Facebook for Ben Salem, for Northeast Philly. Chances are I belong to the same ones you do. which is probably how a lot of you have found me. But like, if anybody has seen anything new come up that might still be around or be hidden in the woods, or anything that they'd like to see that they know is still around today, even if it's still functioning. I'm always up for ideas to check out new places. Um, I know that oftentimes I tend to go back and revisit places, but I'd prefer to go to a different place every time. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's like a beer bottle hitting the recycling can over and over and over. That's my dad. What swim hole? I need details, location, and if you can, even well, I would definitely need like a location area, and then even if you could like find like an old aerial map or something, like circle it for me, that would be cool. Yeah, I mean, it there was right there by that bridge. There was a concrete structure in the creek. I can't say that it was teardrop shaped, if that's what we're saying by teardrop, but um, it was more box shaped. But like maybe there was something on top of that too that that's not there anymore. Hmm. Yeah, Chris, see if you can figure out where that is on the map. I mean, I'll know the area because well, I live in the area, but see if you can find it on the map and like point it out to me. Back of the mall, about a mile away from where you're going to Dinosaur Lake. So more in Ben Salem, would you say? Well, in Benjamin Rush Park, I mean, there's not a whole lot left from like we'll say what was Byberry, or Philadelphia State Hospital, and a lot of the places where there were actually farmhouses. That's now like the industrial stuff behind that, like the Amazon buildings and stuff like that. I've done a comparison because there's one aerial, old aerial shots site that I go to where you can like put like a divider in the middle and just drag the map around. And you can drag it to one side and it's 1 year, and the other side it's another year. Um, but I don't think there's much left that I have not found. But hey, if you know for sure, definitely let me know. I'm always game to do more of Benjamin Rush Park because I spend enough time there, and it'd be nice to see something different. Oop, let's see. Um, yeah, is it the one that's like in Cornwall Heights? Kind of. It's like between, we'll say on Bristol Pike, between where Cornwall skating rink used to be and Curran's, but on the side of Bristol Pike um, where the skating rink was. Because if so, I know I've passed that one so many times in my life, it's ridiculous. I did see that the Philly Captain went in there in one of his later videos, but I could always visit it too. Yeah, Chris, see if you can find that on a map. And mall that goes along the creek would be right there. So, what point of the mall? Like, are we talking like middle of the mall, or the end more so where Sam's Club is, or the other end where Toys R Us used to be? That's a lot. That's a lot of area to cover. Just walk around and everything. I mean, that'd be a long video. I have walked all through there before, though. Me, my brother-in-law, my nephew, and my son, we all walked through that one day. We pretty much went from Gravel Pike, which runs along like the same way that Woodhaven does. Um, we went from there into the woods and walked all the way around to Knights Road, and then we even crossed and went further past Knights Road, and I didn't even see the place that I wound up doing the video, which I believe, Chris, you were the one that let me know about that place. No, it's not. They tore like that place was sold. They tore it down, the Creek Edge Garden. Um, they tore that down. The house came down, everything, and now there's a storage place back there. If you can believe that, they originally wanted to put a hotel back there, but the city and the county, even though it's more on the city part, because the Pequesson Creek is the dividing uh, factor between Philly and Bensalem in a lot of instances, and that is one of them. They didn't want it there, but then they wound up putting it over in Knights Road Shopping Center. So we have a hotel over there with hourly rates. That's all I'm saying. We know what goes on in there. Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. I liked it better when this area wasn't as built up, and it's like on its way up, and I don't like it. Hmm. I'll have to look around. Like, I mean, if it was open enough, it could be on one of those old aerial maps. Like, unless there was like a canopy of trees. It's not visible from Bristol Pike. Oh. You'll have to let me know where this cemetery is, because I would like to visit. I've done my share of cemetery videos. I do remember the Woolworth at Knights Road Shopping Center. They had the little diner thing in it. So when you went into the doors, um, if you went back a little bit and to the right, that's where the little counter was where you could get food. And if you kept going further back and to the right, that's where they always had like the fish and stuff like that and little lizards or whatever. I remember that very well. 95 crosses Bristol Pike. Huh. And there's a cemetery there? I'm gonna have to check that out. Hmm. So quarter of the mile past where I go in for Dinosaur Lake. So you mean going more towards Street Road or more towards into Philly? I'm having like 3 different conversations right now. Yep. Yeah, I remember them very well. Yeah, if you do, please tag me in that, or you could just send it to me as a message on my This Is Towns World Facebook. It's just facebook.com/This Is Towns World, all one word. Find it. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the same as here. This is Towns World. Or you can send it to me in a message on my personal account. That's Tom Nally, Nally, N like a Nancy, Ally. So it's kind of like Rand McNally, only without the Mick. So yeah, my dad had his 75th birthday this past weekend. It's so weird. I mean, it's easy to think that he is 75 when I'm here and I see him walking around and stuff like that. But like in my mind, I still see the 50-some-year-old, 40-some-year-old dad. It's kind of weird how our minds work like that. Which means my mom will be 75 come March. Really? I ate there quite a bit with my mom when I was younger. Um, we would go there, get something to eat, and then we'd go over to oh man, what was the supermarket that was there? It wasn't Shopping Bag, Pathmark? No, the hell was there? I can't even remember now. Any of you remember what the supermarket was that was there? Was it Pathmark? I don't think it was. I can't remember. Been a long time. I cashed my very first paycheck at that place. So you would go up to the main booth, and if you wanted to cash a check, they had to give you like $5 in store credit, and then whatever else your check was for. So my very first check that I got from when I worked at Wendy's on Street Road, um, pretty much the whole thing went on lunch meat and cheese for the house. So that was crazy. It was like, man, I just worked all that towards the Woodhaven Mall. Okay, so you're talking about like, let's say I went down to Dinosaur Lake where I normally go, over by the old movie theater, the church. I would have to make a right and follow it that way, and there was a drop off from the creek at some point, about a quarter of a mile down. So that would be then before you got to Gravel Pike, where the River's Edge Garden was. If I'm getting you right, because I have traveled around there, I just don't remember seeing anything like that. So like you wouldn't go under Woodhaven Road; it would be before you got to Woodhaven Road. If I'm getting you right. He's typing. He's typing. He's backspacing because he spelled something wrong. Arties is for Smarties. Thriftway. That's it. God, why couldn't I remember that? Yeah, it was Thriftway. Wow, that was your first job. Chances are I went there while you were working there. Maybe. I mean, we've been living, like we moved into this house. I don't want to say I've been living here since then because I have moved out and moved back in, and now I'm mainly here to take care of Dad and everything. But we moved in here in '77, and I was 2 years old. So by the time I was like 10 or 11, I was allowed to walk to the store by myself, which meant that whenever they needed something, they just sent me, and I had to come home carrying like 5 bags and stuff, which was fun because I was a skinny little kid, and I had nothing to me. I mean, not that, I'm a huge hulking guy now. That's a good question. Let's find out. Well, apparently, let's see. Doesn't look like there is, because a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing is like older. So yeah, they may have gone to the wayside. I you know what? I see some. Oh, that's called Holiday Thriftway at Frankfurt. That was the one down by the terminal. I don't even know if they made anything out of that. I haven't been down that way in so long. It's crazy. Yeah, and Thriftway was apparently one of them. But I do remember that. I used to go there quite a bit. I had a friend of mine that lived in the neighborhood that worked there at one point back in, had to be late 80s, early 90s. This chick Melanie, that and she pretty much worked in the at the deli. I haven't seen her in a long time. Been quite a while. I think her family moved away from the neighborhood some time ago. Either that or her parents passed away. I'm not really sure. I know she was adopted and she had a stepsister, or not stepsister. She had a sister and a brother, but they were biological for the parents. I don't know. Just kind of branching off in my thoughts there. We do that as we get older, you know. What are you going to do? The older we get, the more we do that. Until we get to the point where, we have dementia or something, and then we can't remember anything. Man. Just going back, making sure I didn't miss any comments. I don't think I did. Mostly been Morpheus, Chris, and Michael. So I think I got them all. Which Morpheus, I love the name, by the way. I do like the Matrix. So that name kind of stands out. Video Village. Was that the one that was at Nitro Shopping Center? Was it Video Village? Because I think there used to be one on 13 too, over by Andalusia Bar and Grill. It may not have been Video Village, but that was the first place we went to rent movies. But the one at Knights Road Shopping Center, man, did I rent some video games from there for the regular Nintendo and stuff like that, man. I spent a lot of money on Frankfurt. West Coast Video. Yeah. The adult section. Got to go through the beaded curtain, you know. West Coast Video. Yeah, I do remember them on Frankfurt. There was a few of them around. I didn't get stitches in my head. I got staples in my head. Little bit of a difference, but yeah, you know. You can't be back here. Get out of here. Hey, I'm fairly certain that when I cracked my head and split it open, I'm sure I lost some brain cells, you know. In fact, I was just telling the guy that I met yesterday, Ron. He was asking me how I was doing. I met him over at the Chamonix State Park. He was asking how I was recovering from the hit in the head and all that. And I said, well, you know, I mean, I get a little dizzy now and then, but you know, I pretty much did before the hit, so you know. I would say probably stitches would be worse because it takes longer to put them in. The staples, like they give you the numbing agent. I mean, you still feel the staples go in. Don't get me wrong, but then it's just like, yeah, and then that's it. The brew is Molson Ice. That's Dad's beer, and I've learned to love it over time. When I go out, though, if I'm at a bar or something, it's, you know, Miller Lite. I don't. And if I'm somewhere where I know I don't have to drive or whatever, and there's something stronger, then that's what I'll be drinking. But I do like my Molson Ice. It's pretty good. I also like Moosehead too. Moosehead, like I like a lot of Canadian beers. I'm not big on like IPAs and stuff like that because IPAs have a tendency to have more hops in them, and that gives me heartburn. So I don't really like the hops. I said both Molson and Moosehead. I like them both. One's a brown bottle, one's a green bottle. These used to be green. Like 15, 20 years ago, the Molson Ice were green bottles, and then they switched to brown. Moosehead's still green. What's up, Rich? Hey, we did talk some cemeteries. Some of them were brought up. A couple of them for me to go check out. Apparently, there's one where 95 crosses Bristol Pike, like in that area. It's supposed to go back to the 1600s, so that's something definitely going to look into and go check out. But how you been, man? That would be a cool Four Seasons song, Staples in Your Head. I'd like to hear that. Maybe one of those like AI song services they have out there. Like if you put in Staples in my head, the Four Seasons, it'll come up with something. That would be interesting. If anybody knows how to do any of that, and you do, please send me the link or send me the file. That's right. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. It's like right down here somewhere. I can't see where it is because what I see is not what you guys see. And also, no, this way. So down here, down below the chat, you'll see like a bunch of different little icons and stuff. There's one that looks like a little dollar sign. If you wanted to, and you're in the market to do so, and you'd like to to give to the channel, you can always do that by a super chat or a super sticker. Whatever you give me, of course, YouTube takes its little chunk of it, but most of it does come to me. So if you wanted to support the channel that way, you could do that. You could also support the channel by going to my merch shop, which I did not put in the description of this one because I am a bad host. But I'm gonna bring that up right now. And I just have to copy it. So right here is the link to my merch shop. So make sure you go check that out and check out all the different merchandise I have. I have 3 different designs. I have t-shirts, hats, mugs, hoodies, all kinds of stuff, pillows, whatever, it's really cool. Go check it out. And you can support the channel that way. Or if you wanted to, you could just spread the word about the channel. You could share the link to the channel. You could share the link to an individual video. Say, hey, check this guy out, blah, blah, blah. Whatever you want to do. All these things support the channel, but also it supports the channel by continuing to hit that like button, by continuing to watch my videos, comment on the videos. All these things, they all go into the algorithm that is YouTube, and they all help me. So I thank you all for everything you've all done through all of the time that I've been on here, which, let's see, this is October, November, December, January, February. So in 4 more months, I will have been on here for 4 years. Wow. 4 years. That's crazy. Oh, is the game? Oh, yeah. I forgot the game was on. For a second there, when I saw game on, I thought, wait a minute, the Eagles aren't on. Then I saw Phillies. But yeah, 4 years. Because I started in February of 2020. It just doesn't seem like it's been that long. But then, I guess when I think about it, I've been with my goddess, Stephanie. I've been with her for over 2 years now. And I was doing it for a couple of years before then. So, it makes sense, but it's just weird. It sure is. I would be curious to see if it were at all possible for me to log all the miles that I have walked doing these videos. There's no way possible, but if there was, that would be something to see. Hey, how's it going, man? Wildwood Days in the house. Yeah, there were times where my hair got a little shaggy during the pandemic, and then I had my niece's girlfriend take the clippers to my head, and it was almost a crew cut, pretty much. That was right before I found the garden over at the Chamonix State Park. Vandergrift Cemetery. Where is that? I can't even copy that. Why can't I copy that? I'll just have to look it up real quick. I'll get to the other comments momentarily. If I could type, that would help. Let's see. Vandergrift Cemetery. Click on the map here. Oh yeah. That's the other one I was talking about. It's not far from Currents. Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, I saw that the Philly captain had gone there on one of his little excursions. He started out on Street Road and went down to Bristol Pike. And in his video, he was intending on going to Croydon, but he made a right instead of making a left, and he wound up going down towards further into Bensalem there. So, but he did stop there, and he went there. But I can definitely do that one too. Let's see, where was that? Tommy in the 215. No, he was talking about another one. That's how that cemetery came up, because he brought up the cemetery he's talking about, which is more where uh, where 95 crosses Bristol Pike, um, and I thought he meant that one. He said no, but yeah, that's where the Vandergrift one is, most definitely. That's the same one they were talking about, the Vandergrift one. Yep. Um, I don't think there's any signs on there that say no trespassing, and you could easily step over the opposite side of the wall from Bristol Pike. Like, I mean, it's only like this tall, and that's what the Philly Captain did. I did, I did. Matter of fact, I can put that link up for you right now. Let me go to my channel, go to videos, and find that one. Yes, I got it. All right, let me copy the link. There's a commercial playing in my ear right now. All right, here we go. Here's the link for Hart's Burial Ground. That was bought by the school that was next to it. Trying to think of the name of the school. Is it Schoolhouse Lane or something like that? It says School Lane or something. It was the old school right next to it became like a charter school, I think, and they just bought the building and they connected the two. Yep, charter school. Really? I mean, that would be tough to find though, because from what I understand, I mean, I didn't go exploring around too much in it. Like I went up on the hill and I was looking at it, but I know that some of the neighbors don't like it when people are walking around in there, and I didn't want to cause any problems, so I didn't go too far into it. But from what I understand, there's hardly any headstones to be spoken of in the place, so they'd be hard to find. That would be funny. The next lesson is an all skate. Yeah, they still have like the dome shaped roof, which is weird because I think that was one of the reasons why they closed, was because the roof needed to be fixed. That was what was said anyway. Yeah, it's not bad. It's a cluster. I can't say that word. I was going to say the F word, but I'm not going to say it on my channel. It's 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 horrible there when the parents go to pick up their kids when you're going past there. Like they're all in that little U-shaped driveway, and they're all over Bristol Pike in the middle lanes off to the right, and it's a crap show. Yeah, I want to say it's Schoolhouse Lane or something like that. Yeah, most of the cemetery was gone due to the houses, and you got to wonder, did they just build the houses over top of them? Because then you get like this whole poltergeist thing going on. It's you didn't move the bodies, you just moved the stones. I didn't really like the palace, because, well, there was a time where you would find a lot of us metalheads, headbangers, whatever you wanted to call us. You would find us there. But I didn't really like going there because when I would go there, there wasn't many around, and I'd get surrounded by the people who were the opposite of the metalheads that didn't really like us. Um, so I mostly went to Cornwell's when I was younger, and then as I got older, I just kind of hung out at the 49th Street Galleria, not at the skating park. just outside. How are they doing with the poor farm cemetery since they started going out to find the burials? Oh, you mean over at Benjamin Rush State Park, where I found the freed slave burial ground? I mean, if that's what you're talking about, nobody has done anything more. The people that were there fixing it up, like keeping it neat and trimmed, they don't seem to be going there anymore, and they've none of them have contacted me after my videos. So I may have to get my own little group together to do that. School Lane Charter School, that's what it is. There you go. They would choose. I believe you asked this question on Facebook earlier. Um, I'm not sure. I know that she flip flopped between their house in California and their house here in PA in Sorobia. So it's very likely that she went to school out in California and she probably came here in the summers. I know that her parents were back and forth constantly, but then when Robert Logan got older, he primarily stayed here. However, they buried him out in California after he died here, so which is weird. But yeah, that would be interesting to find out if she did. I mean, I do know that she was committed here when she lost her mind. She was in Friends Hospital, um, and she hung herself in the basement of that place, one of the older buildings. And one day I want to go there. I want to see if like maybe somebody there can take me on a little tour and show me like the older buildings. Maybe take me down to the basement. You know, it's kind of morbid, but like I mean, it's not like I'd be showing her hanging. I mean, there'd be no way I could do that. But I could show where it took place, and it'd be like another part of the story, basically. But yeah, they're not really doing much anything there. Of course, I saw that. I see everything, man. I see it all. And just like I'm seeing a message from my goddess right now, so I have to answer that real quick. She was saying, "Let's go, Phils." Stephanie is a very, very huge Phillies fan. Her and her family. Really, that was the original Ben Salem High. Kind of small. Well, I mean, I'm on the fence when it comes to the paranormal. Um, Sometimes I believe, sometimes I don't. It's hard for me to think that there's nothing else after we're done here. So I'd like to believe that we do go on and um, if any places were haunted, you would think that they would be because maybe some people through the trauma of being alive, maybe they carry these burdens that they had in life over with them for some time until they're ready to face the fact that they have moved on, they've passed on, and they're in a different stage of life and everything. So yeah, I could get that. The thing I don't get is when they say cemeteries are haunted. Man, I'll tell you what, when I'm if that happens, if we go on, when I'm gone, the last place you will find me is where my body is. I guarantee that. You'll find me in Sorobia. You'll find me in Dinosaur Lake. You'll find me in a whole bunch of places. Who knows what other places I'm going to come across that are going to speak to me on like emotional and mental levels like these places do. before my time is done, because I plan on going on with YouTube for as long as my faculties will let me. So, um, but yeah, where my body's buried, yeah, you won't find me there. Um, you mean like the old ones that they used to have for the park, where it's like a circle, like made of cement? Is that what you're talking about? Because if that's the case, yeah, I've seen quite a few of them there. Oh, cool. I knew what you meant. Before the park, a let's see, a burn pit from before the park. I mean, there'd be no way I could see that though, because of like all the years of, you know, the sedimentary, or whatever the word is, dirt that would just, it would just cover it. Yeah, I can't say I've come across anything like that from before the park. You know what would be? I mean, I've never really been on a paranormal investigation. I have tons of friends who are involved in that, and family members. Um, but it would be it would be my luck that like everybody would be like listening, waiting for something, and it would be quiet, and my stomach would be like, and everybody would get freaked out, or I'd fart or something like that. Of course, I'd also be the one that they wouldn't want to have with them, because I'd be waiting around corners for somebody to come out and just be like, and they'd be like, "All right, you need to go." Garage pits. Um, there are underground things, but that goes back to the Logan's time. Um, Garbage pits, not garage. There are underground things, but I can't say garbage pits. I can't. No, I mean, if they are, they're pretty well buried. I mean, I'm sure there had to have been, because the Logans weren't the first ones on that land. I mean, that land goes back to I think it was the Lenape Indians, but also William Penn owned pretty much all the land along the Delaware River. I mean, he owned all of PA, really. But then he went around bartering with the Indians, because he didn't like the fact that he was just said that he owned it. He wanted to make sure that they felt justified. Over in the Chamonix, yeah, the old baseball field, which is right next to where the Flyers field is now. That I've seen. Yeah, there's no remnants of that in those woods, though. I went through those woods at one point. There's nothing. Not that there would be much of a remnant of like a baseball field, but Byberry was creepy. I actually went into Byberry just a handful of times. Most of the times was during the day, but one time we went at night. We were all out at the bar, and this early 20s, and we decided that we were going over to Byberry, and we went up to the one building, and we went on the roof, and there were these like huge concrete blocks. They were like rectangle shaped. That like all of us like pushed one of them off, because there was security guards around. They tried to follow us in, but once you go in the buildings, they don't follow you, or they didn't. I should say they're not there anymore. But we pushed one off. It fell all the way down onto the ground, made a huge thump, and then we saw them all running around with their flashlights. We're laughing, and then as the night kind of calmed down, I was standing by the doorway where the stairs were coming up to the roof. I swear to God, I heard people walking up the stairs. Nobody ever came up, but I heard people walking. So I don't know. That could have just been my mind. I don't know. But yeah, I've seen that ball field. Most definitely. It was interesting when I saw it. Matter of fact, Rich, if you're still here, was that you that gave me the printout of the ball field? Yeah, it might have been. So I know a couple people have given me printouts of things from around Sorovia when they find me in the Chamonix, and I know Rich had given me some. But yeah, I mean, the day camp and everything. There is a part of the day camp that I found very small, very small. I'm assuming it had something to do with like a pump room or like a something. It's round and it's made of bricks and it's in the ground. Half of it is like it goes down like that much and it's just flat with bricks, and then the other half looks like dirt, so it probably went down and was oh, Rich, I was talking about the baseball field, the aerial shot of the baseball field. Was that you that gave that to me, or it might have been somebody else? Not sure. No. No. You know what? You gave me stuff to do with the bridge, I think, right over that I did over by Hart's burial grounds. I think you gave me those. I don't know. It's hard to remember. you know, I mean, especially being tired as I am. I've been up since 5:30, so um, yeah, I know you gave me some printouts of something. Oh, you gave me the printouts of the ball field. Oh yeah, and the slab. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, man. I still have them. They're downstairs on my dining room table, actually. Yeah, the what was it? The Tenacoit? Is that what it is called? Tenacoit court? I still don't understand that game. That was uh that was interesting seeing that picture though. And then like there was like a little shack in that picture on the other side of the slab where they were playing the game there. And I was trying to see if there was any remnants of that. Of course there's not. I looked I looked all over the area there and not even like old wood or anything like that, which sucks, but what are you gonna do? Have I really been on for an hour and 14 minutes? That just flew by. See what happens when I'm talking to all you guys? I have so much fun. I don't even pay attention to the time. Not saying I'm going just yet, but I'm probably not far off. I do have to throw my wash into the dryer soon because it's just been sitting down there. It's probably been done since I started the live. I was trying to do like too many different things at one time, just getting everything ready for me to go live. But so once again, for those of you who may not have been here earlier, let me copy this out and paste it in here. This is the link to my merch shop. There it is. You go check it out. I have 3 different designs. I have T-shirts, hoodies, hats, pillows. I think there might be an apron on there, and I'm not sure, I can't remember, but all different kinds of stuff, mugs, water cups, all kinds of stuff. Go check it out and see if anything tickles your fancy, and please do buy it because you will be supporting the channel by doing so. I don't make a whole lot of money off of these things. I've lowered the prices as much as I could. Some of the things I may have missed. So if you see something that looks a little too outrageous, just shoot me a message. Say, hey, the blank and blank hoodie or whatever is at this price. Is that right? And if it needs to be taken down, I can take it down some. The important thing is for me to get merch out there and people wearing it so that other people see it and they'll say, hey, what's that? And spread the word. It all supports the channel. You can also support the channel. I will be getting to the comments coming in. You can also support the channel by just spreading the word of the channel, sharing the link to the channel or individual videos. Say, hey, check this guy out. Also, over here in the bottom, you'll see a little $ thing. You can always give a super chat or a super sticker. Most of that money will go to me. So a little chunk goes to YouTube, but the rest goes to me, and that will all go to supporting the channel. Anyway, back to the comments. Really? Well, I know at one point they didn't have trash cans everywhere the way they do now. If it was a small slab, maybe about, I don't know, about like 3 or 4 foot by 3 or 4 foot, that was probably one of the old dumpsters that they had in there. Generally, we are not supposed to go onto the beach. We do, like, if there's litter on the beach, like not in the water, but like on the beach itself, we do, when we have the extra time, we will go down and pick up the litter. But pretty much where the grass ends is where we're supposed to stop. You know what? That's a good question. I don't know if the boat is still there. It might be. And in case you are all wondering what Lori's talking about, let me find it. That was the original video. Oh, there we go. I found it. I just have the link. And come back here and post it in here. This is the boat that Lori was talking about. So you can check that out. Not right now, when the video's over. Stay here. Well, that all depends on the on how everybody's behaving, If I get weirded out, I run away. 9 feet. So you said, let's see, across Logan Walk from the ballpark. Were they weren't stairs, were they? Like, you're talking across from where the ballpark was, there's like a little field, and then there's like a tree down by the end, and a path going off to the left, and then there's a set of stairs there. I have never found any arrowheads at all. But in complete disclosure, most of the time I'm not looking. There have been some times where I was looking, especially when I was down by like Pequesson Creek by Dinosaur Lake. I was looking there, but I have never found any. That's exactly what that was. Pennypack on the Delaware. Not stairs, because there is a set of stairs there, and that was part of the day camp, which was also a German club at one time, like a real German club, like Nazis and stuff. We've talked about Dunks Ferry Road. So there are, and if you look, I can't remember what video it was that I did at Neshaminy. I know it couldn't have been the first one. It might have been the next couple where I just walked around the park. But I went down to the beach and I showed the wooden poles that is pretty much what's left of the ferry from Dunks Ferry, which is how that got its name. And there's also a building there that used to be the Dunks Ferry Inn. So he had this house and he turned it into an inn. He had a few rooms. He had a common area on the first floor. He had like a tavern in the bottom floor. It was very, very cool. Wish I could get into it, but it's a private residence now, so it's just not going to happen. I haven't had many pictures with groupies. I have had a couple people over time ask if they could take a picture with me, but it's only been like two. So let's see. Right across the path from where the ball field was. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's where the woods are now. Like there, you have the Flyers field, which is all open, obviously, and they keep it well mowed, which they do that. We don't. But then starts the wooded area on that side of the path, and directly on the other side of the path where that wooded area starts is where the path, like a gravel road, is that goes down. I assume you mean past where that gravel road is, and in the woods. Because if you saw something there, chances are that's from the day camp. It was called Summerdale Day Camp, right in the bushes. So I'm gonna have to take a look at it. I will definitely have to take a look at it. There's a few, very, very few remnants left of the day camp here and there. Not as much as I would wish, because as I had mentioned before, Summerdale Day Camp is where the entire place was owned by this guy, and I can't remember what his name was, but his nephew was Gene London. Gene London was a very well-known local celebrity for like kids shows and stuff back in the 60s, 50s, 60s. And he grew up working at this place, and that's where he honed his skills of like painting and drawing and telling stories and stuff like that, entertaining kids. And he went on to big things as he got older. And then as he got even older, then he had finally come out of the closet, and he and his partner, they went into fashion and stuff like that. Like he didn't die wanting for anything. We'll say he had quite a bit of money. Let's see. I will let you know. The easiest one to use is this one here. I'll put the link up here. Chris, that's the easiest one to use. Yeah, he sure did. He loved that place. He actually did some of his shows from there. The problem is you're never going to find them. I wanted to find them because then I thought, maybe I could match up some trees, like, maybe a tree that was like small then that's like big now, but it's still the same shape and stuff like that. Problem is back then, film was expensive. So once they used them and they aired the shows, they erased the film and reused it. So unless somebody was knowledgeable enough back then and had the equipment and the money to have the equipment back then to record it, you're never going to see any of his old shows again, which really sucks. But I'd like to see them, like the ones that he did when he was there, because he was outside and painting and talking to the kids and stuff like that. It would be great. So anyway, I'll go for another 5-10 minutes or so, and then probably wrap this up so I can go finish drying my clothes and stop adjusting my hat like every 5 minutes. Sorry, the hair kind of makes the hat like creep up every once in a while. Hair's a little poofy today, as you can see. But also have a couple other things I got to get wrapped up before I go to bed tonight. And so everybody knows, if you did watch the last video, at one point I showed my hoodie that I don't think I have it up. No, I don't have it up here. I showed my hoodie that was covered in those little seeds that have like little stickers on them and stuff. It was all over the front, on the sleeves, everywhere. I sat here on Saturday for an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 45 minutes, and I picked every one of them off one by one by one. And I actually put up a thing on my community tab saying, as I'm picking off the sticker seeds one by one from my last video. And I put the link up to that. Yeah, that was rough. I just sat here watching Sons of Anarchy as I picked them off and just put them over here, and I had a lot of them by the time I was done. Took a while. I mean, in all my ventures out in the woods, I can't say that I've ever gotten that many on me. I've gotten a few here and there, but that was just ridiculous. Yeah, there's no buildings because they just did it. They just did it with the backdrop of the foliage. But there were buildings there. There were a small handful of buildings, maybe like five buildings or so. The biggest one being where those stairs are down that path, because that used to be, I guess it was like a mess hall kind of thing. But that, when it was a German club, that was the main hall. But it was big, and like right in front of where that was, there's a field now across from the Flyers field, across Logan Path or Logan Walk. And right where there's a tree in the back of it, that tree is actually growing in the middle of an in-ground swimming pool. Now, I'm sure that's all cracked up underground by now, but that there was an in-ground swimming pool there, and you can see that in the old aerial photos too. Yeah, you most definitely can. Can put. I knew what you meant. I speak fluent typo. But yeah, you can. There's a few different aerial sites that you can go to. One of them that I go to, it's not the same where you get a display. Like, you'll see a map, like an illustration kind of map, but then you click on an area and it'll give you different years. And then when you click on it, you download a like a zip file, and then you have to open that up, and it's got this huge size document in it, which is an image, and you can zoom in on it, and it's got pretty good detail, better than the link that I put up, but it's a little more confusing to use, I think. But anyway, I think I'm going to get out of here so I can go put my clothes in the dryer and get a few things done. I want to thank everybody for being here and hanging out and talking. Once again, make sure you go check out my merch shop. My merch shop is right here once again. Bam, go check it out. Buy some stuff, help support the channel. You can always support the channel. Well, when you're watching a video, it's down here somewhere. I think there's like a super thanks thing that you can always give to the channel, and you can do it that way. You can always still spread the word about the channel, share links to videos or to the channel itself. I appreciate that. I see that people do share the videos, and I appreciate that more than I can tell you. YouTube does show me when they're shared, and I know it's not just me that's sharing it. I do share them to quite a few different places, different groups and stuff like that. But yeah, thank you all for everything, and you are all very much appreciated. So yeah, I'm gonna get out of here, and I guess keep an eye out for my next video. Don't know what it's gonna be, but we'll find out. I fly by the seat of my pants. Anyway, make sure you stay safe, stay healthy, and whoa, we got a comment here. That would be funny. Yeah, nobody sent me a link to the to an AI generated song called "Staples in the Head," but that would be funny, or "Staples in Your Head." Anyway, make sure you all stay safe, stay healthy, and take care. I will see you all soon.